नहमदुहु व नुसल्ली अला रसूलिहिल करीम व अला आलिहि व अस्हाबिहि व बाद फ़अऊज़ु बिल्लाहि मिनश शैतानिर रजीम बिस्मिल्लाहिर रहमानिर रहीम अस्सलामु अलैकुम व रहमतुल्लाहि व बरकातुहू रब्बि इश्रह ली सदरी व यस्सिर ली अमरी वहलुल उक़दतम मिन लिसानी यफ़क़हू क़ौली रब्बना ज़िदना इल्मा आमीन या रब्बल आलमीन। So this is our seventh session for Arabic grammar workouts, and we have been doing alamat asliya wal far'iyya. So let's continue with the alamat far'iyya. We did for the alamat far'iyya for rafa and the nasab states. We know that the alamat asliya, we learned that there are four for alamat for rafa. It's dhamma. For alamat nasab here fatha, and for jar it's kasra, and for jazm it's sukoon. So these are the four alamat that are the asliya, or you can say the signs to find out rafa states it's a dhamma, to find out a fatha, the nasab state it's a fatha, and to see or to locate a jar state or majroor state, we see that everything will have a kasra. Then we'll have a sukoon for the majzoom state. So these are the alamat asliya. Then we talked about the alamat i'rab far'iyya, and we learn about the i'rab or the alamat i'rab far'iyya for halat rafa when it is marfu. It can be seen with the four signs, with the waw, with alif, with subut and noon, the three signs, waw, alif, and subut and noon, and it is to show that these words are in the state of marfu. But for for alamat asliya, it is always the dhamma. But for alamat irab far'iyya, we see the three things, you can say the signs, the waw, alif, and the subutun noon to see that it's a marfu state. Any word is in the state of rafa. Then we learned about halit nasab. Then it has the alif, ya, kasra, and hasfin noon for the harf of nasab, for the state of nasab, or when any verb or sim is in the state of nasab or its mansoob. So now let's learn about halat jar. This is alamat rafa. You can see there are three for alif. It can be found in musanna, and wow, it can be found with jama muzakkar salim and with the asma al khamsa and sabutun noon in afal al khamsa. And we have done the examples for them. Halat nasab, alamat nasab is alif, ya, kasra, niyabatan al fatha, and hasfin noon. So alif can be seen in asma al khamsa, ya can be seen in musanna nouns and in jama muzakkar salim nouns, and kasra, niyabatan al fatha, kasra instead of fatha, it can be seen in jama muannas salim. Hasfe noon, you know that in afal al khamsa, when there is noon in the end, we need to drop that noon to make it in the state of nasab, and that is hasfin noon. And that is also a sign of the verb that it is in the state of nasab. Now, let's continue with alamat jar, and when the nouns are in the state of jar, they are majroor. It can be seen with ya and the fatha. Fatha, you know that we have talked about the words that are partly flexible, that like Yusufa, Yusufu, Yusufa, Yusufa, that it is also that in the state of jar, it remains a fatha. It will carry a fatha and it will not carry a ya. So these are the words, and there are more examples to it that when we see these kinds of words, they are partly flexible, or you can call them the mamnu min as-sarf. So they are the words that will have a fatha and they will not carry a kasra. And ya can be seen. You can see this alamat irab far'iyya ya for the jar majroor state into you can say in two types of nouns, in musanna and with jama muzakkar salim. You can see it. So let's see the example now. For ya musanna, marartu bit talibaini. You can see here, this is the nasab form of, or you can say the jar form of the Talibani, because this is harf of jar and this is musanna, the i'rab will be a Talibaini. Ism majrur alamati jarrihi al-ya. Not you will say wa alamati jarhi al-kasra, because it is not kasra, it is now ya. Why? Because in the marfu state you see Talibani, the alif here for the musanna, the sign for the marfu state. So for the jar, it will be majru alamati jari al ya. Now, as I mentioned to you, how you are going to write the Iraq? You are going to write the reason now. لأنه musanna. This is the reason. لأنه musanna. After that, the rest of the explanation will come. One noon, and this noon. This noon, you see, this is a word means instead of a tanween fil ism mufrad. So you know that this talibun, taliban, talibin here it denotes that this noon is instead of or in the place of tanween for the mufrad ism, and that is taliban. All right. So this is the noon is just denoting the tanween. And this ya is instead of the kasra for the ism majrur alamat jari al kasra for musanna nouns. لأنه musanna. The reason is why we are putting the ya, because it is from the musanna nouns. All right. So this is the example for the musanna when we are doing the era for the majrur state. Again, the ya and the ya now it's jama muzakkar salim marartu bil mudarrisina. Mudarrisina, mudarrisuna, mudarrisina, mudarrisina. So here, mudarrisina, you know that it is passed by the teacher. So here you can see this is it is preceded by a harf of jarba. So there will be ism majrur alamati jarhi al ya. Yeah, لأنه جمع مذكر سالم. As I mentioned to you, when we are writing the Arab, first we are going to write the sign. اسم مجرور. We will tell the status. اسم مجرور. It is اسم مجرور. Then we will tell the sign. وعلامة جري الياء. And then we tell the reason. لأنه جمع مذكر سالم. And the noun is إود عن التنوين في الاسم مفرد. So this is مدرس. So here, Alhamdulillah, this is the sign for the ya. As I mentioned to you, the alamat, iraq, far'iyya, it can be seen in two sims, it's musanna and jama muzakkar salim. Alhamdulillah. Here also, the musanna wa jama muzakkar salim, and with that, you can also see them in asma khamsa when it is in the state of the idafa. You can see marartu bi akhiki. So here you can see here اسم مجرور علامة جره الياء لأنه من الأسماء الخمسة والكاف الضمير متصل مبني في محل جر. It is instead of the jar, in place of the jar, and because it is the idafa. So here you can see it can be seen in a small khamsa as well, this ya, all right, instead of the kasra. Then the last sign for alamat irab far'iyya, it is for the jazm, and it can be seen in two things. Hasf harf illa, it can be seen in fi'l mu'tal and nakis, and nakis means when it is preceded by a ya, when the word ends with the ya, and hasf noon in af'al al-khamsa. All right, so these are the alamat jazm. And what is the real sign for alamat jazm? It is the sukoon. All right, so instead of the sukoon, if we see a hasf harf illa or hasf noon, that is alamat irab far'iyya. All right, so instead of the sukoon, we see hasf harf illa and hasf noon. Hasf noon can be seen in af'al al-khamsa. We don't see any sukoon, we see hasf noon. And we also see has harf illa instead of the sukoon in al-fi'l, mu'tal, and naqis. All right. Let's see the example here. This is from al-fa'al khamsa, and it is the harf of jazm, or you can see here that is jazm is lam here because tukazibani, tukazibuna, tukazibina. So here you can see here lam takziba لم أداة جزم فعل مضارع مجزوم بلم وعلامة جزمه حذف النون and لأنه من الأفعال الخمسة. And ألف اثنين is the file. You can see here the dropping of the noon is the sign. that it is alamat jazm hasf noon instead of the sukoon. We can see here, and we have done this example already, alhamdulillah, in our afal al-khamsa. So here, takzibani, takzibuna, takzibina, kazaba yakzibu. Here you can see lam takzibu. Here فعل مضارع مجزوم بلم وعلامة جزم حذف النون. The reason is لأنه من الأفعال الخمسة والواو الجمع. Here جماعة is file. Here you know that, and it is with the alif al-fariqa. The next is takzibi. Takzibina, you know that the noon is dropped again because it is preceded by the jazm. Here takzibina is converted takzibi فعل مضارع مجزوم بلم وعلامة جزمه حذف النون لأنه من الأفعال الخمسة, and يا مخاطبة is her file. يا مخاطبة is her file here. Alright, so the noon is dropped here. What is the sign of the jazm here? We are dropping the noon. We are just here, the hasf noon is happening here instead of putting the sukoon. So this is again the alamat i'rab fariya. The for the alamat jazm, it's hasf noon. Again, for has harf illa, as this is the second sign, as we mentioned, we see the alamat jazm i'rab far'iyya in two things. When it is has harf illa and has noon, in here it is has noon is afar al khamsa, and harf illa is in fi'l mu'tal naqis. Here you can see it. You know, the yarmi, yarda, yadu, these words, you already know about these words, that this is with the, you know that here the harf illa is dropped here. Yarmi, lam, yarda, yam, lam, yad'u. Here you can see here the fi'l mudari majzoom, how you're going to write the i'rab, because the last letter, the harf illa, is dropped from each word. Here, waw is dropped, here alif is dropped, and here ya is dropped. So fi'l mudari majzoom bilam. فعل مضارع مجزوم. This is فعل مضارع مجزوم. Why? بلم, with lam. Okay, so this is here the has harf illa happening here because of the adat jazm, and that is lam. Wa alamat jazm, as I mentioned to you, you are going to write the alama. The alamat jazm is has harf illa, not has harf noon, but has harf illa here. Min akhira, from akhir, from the end. All right. So here we can also see in fa'il amr the dropping of the harf illa. Here you can also see in me, we know that here we are going to, you know, the rules for the fa'il amr, that we need to drop the sign of the fa'il mudari, that is the ta. Here it is dropped. Yeah, is dropped here because we use the anta versions for fa'il amr. So again, and we also going to drop the harf illa. So it is irmi. Alright, so irmi فعل أمر مبني على حذف حرف إلا من آخرة. This is how you're going to write the i'rab for the فعل أمر when it's حذف حرف إلا. This is a very beautiful example of all the majzoom, marfu and mansoob state. You can see these are all alamat i'rab far'iyya. لم يسقي الفلاحون المزروعات. Here, lam. This sentence starting with lam, it is adat jazm wa nafi, and we can see here, yaski, you can see saka, yaski here, fi'l mudari majzoom bilam. Fi'l mudari is majzoom bilam. It is majzoom because of the lam. And what is the alama of the majzoom? It is the alama jazm, hasf harf illa. All right. So it is dropping of the ya. Here just hasf harf illa. All right. So the peasants did not water the, you can say, those fields. So here you can say al-fallahuna. Here are the marfu or the file marfu علامة رفعه واو لأنه جمع مذكر سالم. Here again with the marfu you are not going to see the dhamma. وعلامة marfu is dhamma. No, not here. It is the wow here. This the wow. And also the subut and noon is also the sign for the marfu. But here we'll say وعلامة رفعه الواو لأنه جمع مذكر سالم. All right. So marfu also have another sign, that is the subut noon, and you can also see the subut noon here. All right. So the next thing is, because we know that the rest of the is maful bihi, and maful bihi always a detail, and it should be in the state of nasab, that is mansub, mazruati, maful bihi mansub. You know that it is muslimatun, muslimatin, muslimatin. So here you can see the jar and the nasab state both have the kasra. So here you can see, instead of in the nasab in their nasab state they don't have the fatha, they have, instead of that they have the kasra. So maful bihi mansub alamati nasbihi kasra, and kasra in place of the fatha. So you are going to write it نيابة عن الفتحة لأنه جمع مؤنث سالم. Alright, so Alhamdulillah, you can see all the alamat here, alamat irab for iya here. Instead of in the majum, instead of the sukun, you see hasf harf illa. Instead of the dhamma, you see the wow. Instead of the fatha, you see the kasra. So this is it. We are, alhamdulillah, we have completed our topic of alamat irab far'iyya and alamat irab asliya. And we know that for alamat asliya, they are always dhamma, for the rafa state, fatha, for the nasab state, kasra, for the jar state, and sukun for the jazm state. These are all alamat asliya, the signs or the real signs for Rafa, Nasab, Jar, and Jazm states. And we also learned about alamat era far'iyya, that what are the not real or the unreal signs for not the real signs for the Rafa, Nasab, and Jar and Jazm states. Alhamdulillah, we have completed this topic. That for Rafa, it's always the Waw, Alif, and Subut Noon instead of Dhamma. For nasab, it's always the alif, ya, kasra, and has been noon instead of the fatha, and al ya and fatha in the state of the majroor instead of the kasra. And for jazm, instead of the sukoon, it's always the harf illa or harf noon. Alhamdulillah. And this is the summary of all the alamati rafa. We see that alamati nasab and alamati jar and the alamat jazm alamat. These are all alamat irab far'iyya. Alhamdulillah. So we have completed this topic of alamat for asliya and far'iyya. So inshallah, I'll see you in the next session. Barakallahu li wa lakum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.